Jon Jones is not just a heavyweight champion. He is a name etched in UFC history with ink of glory and controversy. Jones is a living paradox, the purest talent the octagon has ever seen. Today, we will look at the price of Jon Jones's success, the youngest champion. A natural predator. Before becoming the king of the UFC, Jon Jones was just a kid in Rochester, New York, raised in a religious family with impressive athletic talent. From a young age, he was a natural competitor. He fought in school with an ease that made his rivals look like mere dolls. His physique was unique: long arms, superhuman reflexes, and a killer mindset. He wasn't just a fighter, he was a predator. At 23, he arrived in the UFC and swept through everything in his path. No one had seen anything like it before. His style, his creativity, his absolute dominance of the octagon. In 2011, he became the youngest champion in the company's history. And that's when his reign of terror began. The arrival in the UFC, Jones made his UFC debut at just 21 years old, facing Andre Gustafsson at UFC 87. No one expected much from him, but as soon as the fight began, the audience noticed something special: his movements, his creativity, his control of the octagon. He used spectacular takedowns, spinning elbows, and absolute physical dominance to secure a unanimous decision victory. And that was just the beginning. In his next fights, he destroyed veterans like Stephan Bonnar and Brandon Vera, showing he wasn't just a prospect, he was an unstoppable force. His only stumble came in December 2009. When he fought Matt Hamill, Jones dominated him completely, but was disqualified for using illegal 12-6 elbows. Ironically, a loss that only reinforced the idea that no one could truly beat him. In 2011, Jones was on the rise but wasn't yet a star. He had defeated Ryan Bader, another undefeated prospect, and seemed on his way to a title shot. But not so soon, until fate intervened. After the victory against Bader, Dana White gave him the news mid-interview. Rashad Evans was injured, and champion Mauricio Shogun Rua needed an opponent. Jones had the chance to fight for the title. In just 6 weeks, most fighters would have hesitated. Jones didn't. At UFC 128, Jon Jones entered the octagon at just 23 years and 8 months old. His opponent, Mauricio Shogun Rua, was a lethal veteran, a legend, and the undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion. But that night, the world saw the birth of a new era. From the first second, Jones crushed Shogun. He used his reach, wrestling, and aggression to destroy the champion. Knees, elbows, constant pressure. Rua never stood a chance. From the moment the bell rang at the Prudential Center in New Jersey, it was clear Shogun Rua was in trouble. In the first minute, Jones launched a flying knee that stunned Rua. Then, he took him down with a brutal takedown and began punishing him with elbows from mount. Rua tried to get up, but Jones dominated every exchange. In the second round, Shogun tried to counterattack, but Jones dismantled him with constant pressure. He hit him with elbows, spinning kicks, and body knees. Rua, who had been a destruction machine, looked helpless. In the third round, with the Brazilian completely broken, Jones finished him with a brutal body knee. He became the youngest champion in UFC history. The reign of a legend had ended, and the greatest of all time had just been born. At 23 years and 8 months, Jon Jones became the youngest champion in UFC history. And he didn't just win, he crushed a veteran as if he were a beginner. From scandal to redemption, the first major blow to his legacy came in 2012, just a year after becoming champion. Jones was arrested for drunk driving after crashing his Bentley. It was the first warning that something was wrong. But Jones didn't listen. In 2015, his world collapsed. A car accident left him in the eye of the storm. Not because he crashed, but because he fled the scene, leaving behind an injured pregnant woman. The UFC had no choice. They stripped him of his title. What followed was a spiral of chaos. Drugs, suspensions, canceled fights. In 2017, he tested positive for steroids after defeating Daniel Cormier, his greatest rival. His legacy was in ruins. Many thought he would never fight again. After 3 years of chaos, Jones returned in 2018, and he did it as he always had, destroying anyone in his path. He reclaimed his title, defeated Alexander Gustafsson, and became king again. He had already fought Gustafsson in 2013. A fight Jones won by unanimous decision after 5 long and grueling rounds. Now, Jon Jones and Alexander Gustafsson were ready to settle their unfinished business. But this time, everything was different. Jon Jones wasn't the champion. Gustafsson wanted revenge, and the light heavyweight title was vacant. From the first round, Jones came out more calculated, not letting Gustafsson find his rhythm. He used leg kicks and strikes from a distance, dismantling the Swede piece by piece. Gustafsson couldn't connect like he had in 2013. The big difference in this fight was Jones's strategy. He didn't seek a war. He sought a perfect execution. In the second round, Gustafsson tried to press more. But Jones was always one step ahead. He punished him with low kicks, affecting his mobility. In the third round, Jones delivered a relentless finish. Midway through the round, he changed the pace with a clean takedown, something he hadn't done in their first fight. Gustafsson was trapped on the ground, and Jones advanced, beginning the punishment. Elbows, short punches. The Swede couldn't move, and within seconds, the fight was over. The referee stopped the fight. Jon Jones had won by TKO in the third round. While their 2013 fight had been a war, in 2018, it was an execution. Jones reclaimed his title and proved that, with or without controversy, he was still the greatest fighter in light heavyweight history. In February 2020, Jon Jones defended his light heavyweight title against Dominic Reyes in one of the closest fights of his career. From the first round, it was clear Dominic Reyes wasn't there to lose. Reyes dominated the first round. He used his reach and explosiveness to keep Jones at a distance, surprising him with clean shots and landing several hooks that backed Jon against the cage. Jones had never faced a fighter so fast and powerful in the early minutes of a fight. In the second round, Jones began adjusting his strategy. He started pressuring Reyes more, closing the distance and fighting more in the clinch. Jon used his experience and mastery of dirty fighting, taking Reyes down in the third minute with a powerful body kick. Despite Reyes remaining dangerous, Jones began imposing his control and showing why he was considered the best in the division. When the fourth round began, Jones was clearly exhausted but quickly recovered. Reyes seemed tired, and Jon began taking total control of the fight with his wrestling. He used a brutal clinch, combining knees and short-range strikes, wearing Reyes down. However, Reyes wasn't willing to give up. He showed courage and held on like a true warrior. When the judges delivered their verdict, Jon Jones won by unanimous decision. The decision was controversial. The final score was 48-47 in favor of Jones. Reyes had put on an incredible fight, but the judges decided Jon Jones had done enough in the later rounds to secure the victory. Title defense records. Jon Jones has a total of 8 title defenses in his first reign, and 3 more in his second, giving him a total of 11 defenses in the light heavyweight division. With 11 title defenses in the light heavyweight division, Jon Jones holds the record for the most defenses in the history of that division. His dominance, technical skills, and ability to overcome the best make him one of the greatest fighters in the UFC. Now, his legacy in the heavyweights is yet to be written. The heavyweight debut. Just a few months after this fight, in August 2020, Jon Jones announced his departure from the division. "I've done everything at 205 pounds. It's time to move up and test myself against the heavyweights." For 3 years, Jones disappeared from the octagon, but he wasn't resting. He was building a new body for war. He increased his weight from 205 pounds to 250 pounds, focusing his training on strength and conditioning to face heavyweights. And he changed his fighting style to be more efficient against larger opponents. Meanwhile, the heavyweight division was changing. After 3 years of speculation, the UFC finally announced Jon Jones's heavyweight debut. March 4th, 2023, at UFC 285, Jon Jones vs. Ciryl Gane for the vacant heavyweight title. The champion at the time, Francis Ngannou, had left the UFC due to contractual issues, leaving the title free for a new king. Jon Jones seized the opportunity, and he did it in a big way. On March 4th, 2023, the MMA world stood still. After 3 years of absence, after scandals, suspensions, and doubts about his legacy, Jon Jones was back. And this time, not at light heavyweight, but in the land of the giants, the heavyweight division. His opponent, Ciryl Gane, an elite athlete, fast, technical, the new face of the division, a fighter who had dominated almost everyone. He destroyed Ciryl Gane in minutes and crowned himself champion. Once again, the king had returned. The first round started cautiously. Gane tried to use his speed and footwork, but within a minute, Jones caught him. A quick, clean, effortless takedown. The difference in skill was evident. On the ground, the youngest champion in UFC history showed why he remains the most dangerous fighter on the planet. He moved with surgical precision, locked in a guillotine, and, within seconds, Ciryl Gane tapped out. There was no war, no suffering, just a perfect execution. The fight lasted just over 2 minutes. With almost insulting ease, Jon Jones became the new heavyweight champion. But this wasn't just any title. This was the belt vacated by Francis Ngannou, the man many considered the most feared predator in the UFC. And Jones didn't just claim it. He did it in a way that left the world speechless. The message was clear. Jon Jones wasn't just back. He was the greatest of all time. Initially, Jones was set to face Miocic in November 2023. But he had to postpone the fight due to a pectoral tendon injury suffered during training. After a year of recovery, the rematch was set for November 2024, solidifying Jones's status as heavyweight champion. In 2024, Jon Jones successfully defended his heavyweight title at UFC 309, held on November 16th at Madison Square Garden in New York. In the first round, Miocic tried to pressure Jon with his powerful striking. But Jones, with his reach and ability to control the center of the octagon, wasn't intimidated. It was a close fight where both showed their arsenal of skills. But Jones landed the more effective shots. In the second round, Jones began taking more control of the fight. The clinch work started playing in his favor, where he used his size and grappling technique to wear Miocic down. Additionally, his body kicks were key to slowing Stipe's mobility. In the third round, Jones finished the fight in impressive fashion. With total control over Miocic, Jon began overwhelming his opponent with takedowns and precise strikes. Miocic, though an unbeatable warrior, couldn't withstand Jones's onslaught for much longer. Finally, Jon Jones connected with a series of punches and elbows in the clinch, resulting in a technical knockout, leaving Stipe Miocic unable to continue. Jon Jones's victory was decisive. Jon Jones had defended his heavyweight title and cemented himself as one of the greatest fighters in UFC history, matching the dominance he had achieved at light heavyweight, but now in the most feared division. Jon Jones is the greatest fighter the UFC has ever seen. There's no doubt. But he's also one of the most controversial figures in sports history. His story is that of a man who could have lost it all, but who somehow always finds a way to come back. Will he be remembered as the definitive GOAT or as a talent wasted by his own demons? Leave your answer in the comments and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.